Hi, everyone. Um, as I think about databases and spreadsheets and things that are used as educators in handling every day to day activity in the classroom and around the school, I think when I think about what impact mobile technology such as smartphones and tablets have on instructional practices, I think they have a positive impact overall. However, I think unless we train our students to use those mobile devices, especially smartphones, during the school day for education, it has a negative impact, and so teachers aren't as willing to let them use them because they don't want them texting or making calls during school or recording something maybe they shouldn't be recording. I know in our school that has been a big battle is when do you allow students to actually use their smart devices um, to connect for educational purposes. As a technology teacher, I allow it, and if they don't follow the rules, then they just lose that privilege and they have to take notes by hand or um, use the computer that's available to them instead of their smart device. And so for me, that works out pretty well. Other teachers in our school, not so much. Um, they not fond of technology as it changes, and they don't understand how to use it as an educational tool, and so that's a downfall, I think. When I think about how learning would change if every student had access to an iPad, um, I think that all of the issues of medical issues with students would that are having back problems or have been injured or playing sports during the year, if we had iPads in every student's hand in our school, our curriculum, we could find textbooks that could be adjusted, um, or teachers could even create books, um, author their own text that match what they're actually teaching in the classroom and come up with some better ideas of how to implement things with digital technology. All we'd have to have is a smart device at school. We wouldn't have a need for everything else. I'm actually in the process where our students do not have one-to-one iPads. We have some teachers who have iPads in the classroom that we have encouraged them to use as a tool, and they're afraid to let the students touch them because they're afraid they'll break them. It's like that's the whole purpose, is to let the students get their hands on. So it can be frustrating at times, but as I was going to say, um, in a one-to-one iPad setting, we could download apps and have everything available to our students based on what they're being taught and what they're taking. And I think it would be a success. We're actually in the works at my school of discussing that. Should we require it? Should we change tuition prices? What should we do to start making this a reality, especially for our middle and high school students? I am in a K-12, so that can change. Um, my 5 favorite apps or apps I'd like to use, I'd say Grade Pro is one that I use on a daily basis. I take attendance through that for my homeroom and my other classes to make it easier for me wherever I'm at in the school. If someone asks me, I have it right there. Important papers that need to be turned in, I'll create assignments so I can keep track of that separately from our actual program. Our school uses ACS's Headmaster, and ACS is primarily a church software. However, they do have a school side, and I believe we're one of their largest clients, and they actually had to create an app for us, for those of us with iPads, to be able to use. And so I use Grade Pro just for those kinds of things. And then I use my ACS app to enter grades, and the teachers don't have access to the attendance side of that, which is why I use Grade Pro. Schoology. My students love it. It has really been a wonderful tool. I've had a lot of medical issues this year with a spinal cord injury, and I've had to be out because there's days I just can't walk or use my arms or hands, and so it's been a challenge for me. But with Schoology, I have been able to put all of my students' assignments when I've had to be out, whether doctor's appointments or just having a bad day, online through Schoology, and I can monitor when they're turning it in, and the sub doesn't have to have the knowledge and technology for whatever is being taught at that time. They just have to monitor the classroom and really just be a body in there. So I love Schoology for that reason alone. I like some other features too, but another app that I like is Remind 101. Remind 101, it makes it easy for reminding students, hey, don't forget, we have chapel tomorrow. It's Beta Club induction. Don't forget to dress up if you need to. Don't forget to tell your parents. My parents can subscribe to these too, so it's pretty good. If we have pictures, if something happens, we've had snow and ice days, and I've been able to send out messages saying, hey, no school tomorrow. Conditions are too bad. And so that's been a wonderful tool to have. Google Drive is one that I would love to use. Our school uses Office 365 through our email, and no one knows how to use it. And so it's been a challenge, and I just haven't had the time or the ability to sit down and really look at it. It's not as user-friendly as Google Drive, and so I'm trying to encourage our school to change and go to that. And then the last one I would talk about is Nearpod. Nearpod is new to me. I haven't used it yet, but I like the idea of maybe implementing it into my classroom to where students, whether they're on their computer, their tablet, their smartphone, it doesn't matter. If I have a presentation that I'm showing, I can give them a code and they can follow along with me as I'm going through the notes and explaining steps and processes. And I love the idea of that because so many times they're easily distracted. They're like, wait a minute, I don't understand. What'd you say? And I just think it would be a wonderful tool. I appreciate your time. I've learned so much, and there's so many more apps to share. I look forward to hearing from each of you guys this week, and I hope that God will bless your week as we finish up next week in our courses. God bless.